Good morning. Today is the day that we finally start working on the Raspberry Pi. Now, this video is going to be a little different than the other ones. It's going to pause when I'm giving you time to work, and then when the video is playing, I do not want you working, I want you watching the video. That's because this can be somewhat complicated, and I want to make sure that everybody gets it right. Now, if you missed a section or are having a hard time understanding, you can rewatch your section as many times as you want. But let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started, we should have four things. We should have a mouse, we should have a keyboard, and we should have a CanaKit. We should also be sitting near a monitor. Now, if you are missing any of those things, go ahead and come and talk to me. You can go ahead and hit the continue button when you're ready to go. All right, since you're all with me, I'm assuming you have everything you need. Now, before I go any further, just because I know I'm going to get some questions about it, yes, my fingernail is purple. The reason why was because I was building something using PVC pipe, and I was using PVC primer, and PVC primer is purple, and when I was using it, it stained my finger. All right, my fingernail, and I couldn't get it off no matter how hard I washed. Let's get started. So for right now, we're going to take and put aside our keyboard and our mouse and focus on this kit right here. Now, I'm going to lay out all the pieces that I've got, then I'm going to ask you to lay out all the pieces as well. The reason why is because I want to make sure you have everything. If you're missing anything from in here, you're not going to be able to move further and you're going to need to talk to me. So let's get started. All right. So the very first thing that I have is an HDMI cable. I have a power cable. Now remember from the previous video, the HDMI cable is what allows us to hook up to the television. The power cable is what's going to give us power. Then I have my case. I should have three parts to my case. This is the middle part, this is the top part, and this is the bottom. Please do not put this together. Just wait and make sure you have all your pieces. I also have the motherboard, which is actually the computer, the part that makes the computer work. And I have my micro SD card, which is also important. My computer will not work without it. Many of you guys will also have this in your box. We do not need this. We will not be using it. Just stick it back in your box. You do not need to open it. All right. I'm going to give you some time to go through and take out all your pieces. Mark the checklist that will come up when you have everything that you need, and then afterwards, click continue on the video. If you're missing any piece, come and see me immediately. You will not be able to do anything until you have that piece. Okay, so I'm going to assume that we have everything that we need. All right. So here's our first step. We're going to take the motherboard and we are going to put it directly into here. Now you're going to see that there's these two tiny plastic notches here, and you're going to take the motherboard and slide it underneath those notches, and that way it's more secure and it's kind of gripping it. So you will know if you have it the wrong way, because those notches won't allow it to fit if you have the Ethernet port and the USB cable towards them. So you have to have the flat part right here and slide it in. After you've done that, go ahead and take this right here. Make sure it's facing the right way and you'll see it, because it will have writing when it's the right side up, and slide it in and snap it down. Now, if you're having to push really hard, something's wrong. So hold on, make sure you have it correctly, but it should just snap into place, and so it should look and feel like it's one piece. All right, I'm going to give you a second to do that. When you have that accomplished, go ahead, click continue on the video. If you're having a tough time, watch the video again or flag me down. Okay, now that we have this all put together, we're going to move on to the next part. So I'm going to flip my Raspberry Pi over, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be inserting the micro SD card right in here. And you should be able to take a look and see that there's a little slot for it to go into. Your micro SD card should have the writing facing upside down. So you should be able to see these gold contact pieces right here. What you're going to do, oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. The writing should be facing up. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the micro SD card with the writing facing up and slide it into that slot. And you should feel it kind of click a little bit into place. All right, I'm going to give you a little time to do that. Okay, so now we have everything in our case. We have the micro SD card hooked in. And now we're going to flip it back right side up, and we're going to gently put the lid on top. Now the lid has a specific way it's going to go. So if it feels like it's just resting on top, that's okay. It's pretty loose, I can take it off. But if it feels like it's not clicking in, it might mean that you have it the wrong way. So go ahead, put it on top. Give you a couple of seconds to do that. Okay. Now, here comes the next part. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to hook up some of our other devices. So if you turn it onto its side, what you're going to see is you are going to see a couple of holes on the side of the device. Now, this one right here is where you hook up your power. This one right here is where you hook up your HDMI. And this one right here is where you would hook up your headphones. But we don't have headphones right now, so we're not going to worry about that. So let's start with the HDMI. Just make sure that the shape of your HDMI is matching the shape of your hole. Just slide it right in there. You should feel it. Get in there. And then hook up this other end either to the television or the computer monitor, depending on where you're sitting. I'll give you a second to do that. All right, then before we plug any power source in, what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to hook up our keyboard and our mouse, because we're not going to be able to do a whole lot else until that is finished. So grab your keyboard. Here's mine right here. Take the end of your, oh, it's a little noisy. Take the end of your USB, plug it in right there. Then take your mouse, here's mine right here, and plug that in as well. All right, if it won't plug in, just need to rotate it until it fits. Now we're ready for our power source. So make sure that this is not plugged in to the wall or the floor, wherever the electrical outlet is. First, stick it in here, plug it in, and then plug this in to your outlet. When you do, you should see two lights. They're going to fire up right here. There'll be a green one and a red one. If just one of them lights up, something's wrong, come and see me. But they should both light up. All right. And your computer will turn on. What I'll have you do is watch the next video to know where to go from there. If anything went wrong during this, contact me immediately and I will help you out. All right. Thanks.